So I'm installing the V-tube monotube shocks onto a 2013 Toyota Tundra. This will apply to pretty much all of them. So I thought I'd better touch base real quick on how these bushings mount onto here, because I've seen some videos online where it's the installation is explained extremely well but wrong. So the one I watched had this bushing on first. Wrong. So you'll see this one has the flange that doesn't go on first. So bigger hole, no flange first. Then your bushing with the flange facing up. And then your second cup goes on over the top of that flange, just like that. Now the reason for that, the reason you don't want that facing down too, is this gives you a lot more surface area on the top of the shock, so you don't have a weak spot with this pushing in on the top of the shock. But also the mount hole is just bigger than this, and this actually fits inside the mount hole. And then this one, after you get it inside the mount hole, this will go on from the top, and this other cup goes on over it like that, and then your lock nut. It's important to get that order right, otherwise you could have problems down the road. Maybe you won't, but yeah, I've seen shocks installed wrong, and just thought I'd clarify that so you guys aren't installing them wrong. Those guys might have, you know, much better video skills and explaining skills than me, but I guarantee that this is the right way. So again, the flat cup first that fits over the shaft, then the bushing with the flange facing up to the top, cup with the flange going over that bushing. Then it mounts in just like that. After you get it mounted in, you'll see what I'm talking about when you go to mount it, because this is going to slip right into the mounting hole. And if that's not on there like that, this is going to have play in it side to side. You don't want that. Then after it's mounted in the truck, then these can go on and sandwich over the mounting bracket and your lock nut, of course. So I took the pry bar and spread the flanges on this bracket out a little bit, and you can see it's like barely gonna fit in there now. It's still gonna be a little tight. I might have to tap on it a little bit. Might have this issue. The mounting flange is just a little narrow, just ever so slightly. And so what I did is compress the shock and put it in on top and let it come down on the top towards the outside here, and then I'm just hammering it in and down with a rubber mallet. But not quite aligning over here, so I have a center punch tool. So after you get that aligned, I like to thread that bolt in if it's snug. If it doesn't just push in by hand, I'll thread it in rather than using a hammer like a lot of people do and risk messing up the threads. And then this nut goes on. I believe torque spec is 65 foot-pounds. If you use anti-seize, you can probably drop that down to about 55 if you're using anti-seize or any type of lube on there for an anti-corrosion. Some people go with the full spec torque anyway. That's your prerogative. That Pro Comp, it looks rough, and yeah, it's just junk. So now we're going to put our other bushing on top. If you feel, you can see that flange that was on the cup on the shock is sticking up into the hole there, keeping this centered like it ought to. So put another bushing on there, the other cup on top of that, and then the lock nut, and we'll snug that up approximately 35 foot-pounds. But again, it's a lock nut, so just show about a 1/2 inch of thread would be good. So I turned this and with one hand and held the body of the shock with the other, and as you can see, I got about a 1/2 inch of thread sticking up past the lock nut. This doesn't have to be cranked down too hard. Again, specs like 35 foot-pounds, but honestly, as long as you got threads sticking up, you know, a good 1/4 inch or more, yeah, it's not going to come off. And it's pretty much the same thing on the other side. But that is it.